Hi, John.
Hi.
First, I just want to thank you for having us tonight at the Linux User Group here. We're really happy to be here, and we had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I think the feeling is mutual. I think we learned a lot, and it is truly, I mean, not, the days of warfare, I'm hoping, are being put into the past. The antagonism towards open source and the open source community's sometimes antagonism towards Microsoft will fade into history. I mean, there's always old guard folks who are who will remain antagonistic because they get stuck in a mode, but I think for the most part, most intelligent, rational people would look at a presentation like this and say, wow, that's such a difference, such a radically, different perspective than what we were expecting. It certainly changed my mind about Microsoft's attitude towards open source. It's not just a sort of a side little thing, it's actually becoming a mainstream project within Microsoft. I think it's a very positive move and a very positive step.
That's great. I'm glad you liked Garrett's presentation.
Very much.
What
yes.
was like your biggest learning, do you think?
I think I just assumed that what was going on was that what Microsoft wanted was to move everybody into the Windows Server world, so that all the apps that would be developed, all the stuff that would be developed, would be run primarily on a Windows platform. And what I found to my delight was that you guys are encouraging creation of open source, not binary granted, but source code that can be compiled for a Windows product that could be compiled for a Linux machine. And somebody's going to come along and figure out how to automate with some sort of JavaScript or some sort of Perl script, a way to automate the compiling process. And so all you would have to do is plug in the name of the file and hit OK, and the way the software runs and compiles the source code. I mean, that would be a great master's project for somebody. But I think that to me is the biggest single indication that Microsoft is changing its attitude. I mean, because I remember from 5, 6, 7 years ago reading in PC Magazine, various places, about the outrage that people in the Linux community had with the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that Microsoft was trying to sow against Linux. This is a 180-degree change. This is a complete different attitude. It's almost like a revolution within Microsoft. And it's a revolution for the good. I mean, it's a fundamental change, a sea change in the attitude. It's a very positive, very, very positive step.
That's great to hear. I'm really glad we had the opportunity to come and talk to the Linux User Group. We were really looking forward to it.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
It seemed the members were very receptive and enjoyed the presentation, which is we're very, very pleased how it went.
Yeah, our biggest fear, my biggest fear, was to be perceived as sort of the Taliban at a Loya Jirga, but that's not what we're about. Most of the people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis in the Linux Users Group are people who have to work on both Linux and Windows platform and are equally comfortable in both environments. And many of them work in all three, Mac, Linux, and Windows. And to them, there's no point in being hostile towards any one platform. It doesn't make any sense from a business point of view. It doesn't make any sense from an intellectual point of view. So there was a lot of openness. There was some concern. Obviously, the GPL is still a sticking point.
Right.
But now I understand that the concern isn't an attitudinal one, a corporate culture one, but rather a legal.
Rather legal, yeah. I'm really glad that he answered that question. I know that was a concern of yours, just because of our interview on Port 25.
Yeah. So now, as to whether or not Windows will develop its own version of Linux, I don't know. But you know what? We'll take what we can get.
Yeah, baby steps.
Baby steps, exactly.
And just one last thing. Are you? I know you're going to Make Web Not War. Is there anything in particular that that you want to see from the event, or anything that you are looking forward to?
I'm just being open-minded right now. I just want to take in the whole experience and learn as much as I can, and just see what people have to offer and learn.
Great.
And that's how I'm going to treat it, as a learning experience.
Cool. Well, I know you'll enjoy yourself. And it was really nice to be here tonight. Thanks again, and hopefully we can do this. Maybe every once in a while, Garrett can come up and we can bring in other people from Microsoft and have an open dialogue.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the sort of thing that when I took over the chairmanship, and it was no fault of the past chairs, but it was kind of lackluster in VanLug, and we've had a really exciting year. We've done a lot to motivate people, get people excited about not just Linux, but the organization, the Vancouver Linux User Group. We've had trying to get Nokia to participate. We're going to make outreach to other corporations. We've got Demonware coming in on the 17th, I think it is.
Okay.
Third Monday of the month. That's our usual technical meeting. We're going to have them come in and talk. So we're excited about having corporations, and I'd really love to have Microsoft back again. It would be quite, I think, very interesting. And we'd have good attendance. I mean, this wasn't for the location. It wasn't a bad, and usually people are used to the third Monday in every month.
Yeah.
All things considered, we had a pretty decent turnout.
I agree, and IQ Metrics office is incredible. So it couldn't have been a better location. So great job on picking that.
Yeah. Well, we lucked out because I found this through Meetup.com.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then I asked Chris if he would mind allowing the event to occur, and he said, "Yeah, sure, no problem."
Oh, fantastic.
So that's how we got these, this environment. But SFU is pretty nice too. We like that, and it's actually conducive to conversation. So if we had a Microsoft person come in, sans pizza and pop, unfortunately at SFU, but if you want to do the pizza and pop thing, we won't object.
Yeah, no one ever objects to that.
And it's a great environment, and there'd be a lot of good discussion and good questions, and no threats of tar and feathering.
Yeah, I think no one's afraid now. I think we're all happy.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we're all working on the same idea because open source has the advantage there's some disadvantage to open source, there's no question of it, because it's hard to make a dollar off it. But the advantage of it is that there's such a broad community who are so interested in it that you get a lot of minds involved.
Right.
And that means that it's a better product at the end of the day.
I agree. I think the open source model is amazing, and so I think the fact that Microsoft is opening up to using that model is incredible.
Yeah, and it works. It's obviously working for Microsoft because otherwise you guys wouldn't be doing it.
Right, exactly.
So, that's good.
Just one last thing. I'm going to be posting this to my blog, so are you okay with posting this on the internet?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks again, John.
Thank you.
Okay.